hello and welcome. I'm Lloyd Grimshaw and I'm a member of the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church. This is the next episode of our new podcast series, Behind the Plymouth Brethren. Previous episodes can be found on our website and social channels. In the first 4 episodes of this podcast, I'm speaking with the 4 sons of our church's most senior leader, Mr. Bruce Hales. I've been asking Gareth, Dean, Greg and Charles some of the questions that our church frequently receives from the media or on social media channels. In this episode, we'll kick off a conversation about 2 of the topics that come up most often: the role of women and men in the church, as well as food and drink. In later episodes, we'll put some of these same questions to women, younger parishioners, and older parishioners so that we can provide a full picture of the life of our church. Gentlemen, thanks again for joining me. Some of the journalists have said that women in the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church are treated as second-class citizens. What's your response to that, Gareth?
Yeah, well, Lloyd, I believe women are highly regarded, highly respected in our church. They lead very happy, active, fulfilling lives. They have a total say on whether they work full-time or part-time or just be stay-at-home mums, so they have total freedom of choice. Like all women, when they get together, they're the life of the party. They'd like to have a laugh and a chat and a bit of a joke. We certainly enjoy their company. Like all women, they have their own social network groups, so they catch up for coffee, just a talk or a group chat. If I was to describe the women in our church, I'd say they're happy, they're energetic, they're creative, they're fun, they're out-of-the-box thinkers. They're really like the backbone of the church.
I personally think it's awful what the journalists say about our women, and hopefully given the opportunity to speak up they will. But you touched on the matter of choice. I think that is a true and fair word of the women in our church. They have a choice. They can choose to work, they can choose not to work.
Well, so far on the podcast, we've obviously heard from 4 men and or 5 men, and no women, and trust us, we know what that looks like. There are a couple of Hales sisters. Why aren't they here today?
We did actually ask Lloyd, our 2 sisters, older sisters at that, Jane and Karen, to come along today, but they told us to go jump. But
trouble is, if Jane was here, she'd take over the whole thing. So
she would definitely dominate. Big sister Jane. But in all seriousness, Lloyd, we do hope that many persons will come forward from the church and participate in a podcast, both men and women, young and old.
Yeah, well, not to give anything away too early in the season, but we do hope to interview a whole range of other persons, men and women, young and old, in coming episodes. So back to the question. Gareth, is it true that women of the church have to quit work after marriage?
no, they don't, Lloyd. They can continue to work and keep their job if they so wish. It's complete freedom of choice, as we touched on earlier.
Yeah, I'd like to say that our CFO has been 4 women from the church for the last 15 years, and all of them, after getting married, chose to come back to work, which we're really grateful for, and then they helped transition the position for the next person, and they've been very successful at it, and they hold very important roles in our business.
So why is it that women sit at the back during our church services?
I think there's a number of reasons why the women sit at the back of the church, but let's bear in mind they don't always sit at the back of the church. So in the church that we go to at Ermington, our main Sydney church, there's a lot of brothers, as we call them, or men and boys that sit behind the sisters. So it's not entirely true. What we do find though is the children kind of 0 to 4 or 5 would typically sit with their mothers if they're young and they're quite noisy. And the people that are, not all the contributions, but a large proportion of the contributions come from the front of the church. So typically a lot of the women folk with their young kids would sit near the doors so that the kids are coming in and out all meeting. If you can picture it, it'd be pretty disruptive if they were all sitting in the front row with a bunch of 1 to 3 year olds. But
I don't think it's dissimilar to a number of other churches, Lloyd, the Jews and other denominations where women don't sit in the front of the church. I think it really reflects the role that they do play, and as Gareth said, it is indeed pivotal and represents the backbone of the church. If you take the Lord's Supper, for instance, where we gather together every Sunday morning, the women actually lead us through the different phases of the service of God and give out all the hymns, and they essentially indicate when we move on to the next phase.
Actually started and then actually ended
And
as
end
well,
it,
don't they?
absolutely.
So the wedding vows, as we practice them, do the women in Plymouth Brethren wedding vows, do they have to vow in their vow that they'll submit to men?
No, not at all.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Our vows have actually changed over the years. They were different for me compared to 20 years prior, but nowhere has it ever said that. It's a complete falsehood.
My wife definitely wouldn't have married me if that was the case.
Yeah, my wife doesn't submit very much to me. It's more like I'm submitting to her, which is fair enough.
There's been some media reports that workplaces that are owned by members of the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church, they have a misogynistic culture. Is there any truth to those reports?
No, far from the truth, Lloyd. I thought we do have a real winning culture at our businesses we have now. But in a previous Unispace business, no, we had a winning culture. There was no politics, there was no red tape. People love the fact we embraced all walks of life. Our values are fearless, energetic, courageous, humble, loyal. But we got the best of the best talent. We've got excellent designers, project managers, all working together. The fact they came to us was because of our winning culture. We paid them good. We almost had like a triple win sort of methodology. It was our clients would win, our employees would win, and we would win as well. So no, it was a very good culture, but Charles, you could speak to that.
Oh, we were in
better.
the construction industry, as you know, which was very male dominated right across the industry, and there were a lot of the big builders that got together to try and improve the ratios of women to men. And at Unispace, our percentages of women to men were well and truly among the highest in the industry. And we made conscious decisions back at Unispace to promote more women into leadership, because that was something that we wanted to change in the industry. So we played a pivotal part in that. So to suggest that our cultures within the community are misogynistic is ridiculous.
Not at all.
Utterly false, Lloyd. And I think in my business, in the Ox business, our ratio globally at the moment is bang on 50% women and 50% men. And I think diversity and inclusion and equal opportunity for men and women within our businesses for their careers and their future livelihoods is very much a cent and pivotal and front and focus of our community businesses.
What about when it comes to cooking and cleaning, Dean? Do the women have to do all of that?
Definitely not. I can cook a mean barbecue. I'll have to invite you along someday. And no, as far as cleaning up after, it's definitely a shared job. Happy life, happy wife.
I'm always cleaning up, Dean. Me and Katrina both like a good clean house, so she doesn't do it, I do it. It's very much a joint venture.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do of an evening, not only cleaning up, looking after the kids. It's not a planned thing. You do Mondays, I do Wednesdays. It's whatever's happening at the time, but we definitely all do our bit. That's why I'm still married anyway.
Well, staying on the subject of meals, why wouldn't you or another member of the church have a meal or a drink with someone outside the church? Gareth?
It's just the truth of separation. We don't eat or drink with those that partake of the Lord's Supper. We regard that as communion. So it's just a simple rule that we follow. It's not that we look down on other people or think we're superior. It's just a rule of separation that we've always gone by.
Is there specific things that we can and can't eat when we're on the subject of meals?
No,
or?
we can eat whatever you want. Yeah.
We obviously respect that in other religions there's foods that they don't eat. So lots of people from other religions have different eating requirements. Some eat shellfish, some don't eat shellfish or pork, some don't eat on Good Friday, others don't eat during Ramadan. The Plymouth Brethren simply don't eat with persons that we don't partake of Holy Communion on a Lord's Day, which is Sunday. So that is, we gather together every Sunday morning for the Lord's Supper and partake of the assembly emblems, and those that don't participate in that are persons that we don't eat or drink with.
Every now and again the media asks us about Campers & Co., which was a supermarket, small supermarkets that were run by members of the church. Why do the Brethren own their own supermarkets, Dean?
Yeah, it's a good question, Lloyd. Campers & Co. was initially set up to provide additional funding for one school and for the education of our children. But that's not the only place we shop at. speaking for my wife and I, in our family, we'd go to Woolworths, Coles, and never shy away from a good deal at Aldi. But recently, I've heard that the management of Campus & Co have decided to close down all the stores globally. I think it was a financial decision, it wasn't sustainable, and it was also a significant load on volunteers, but they're moving and transitioning to a full online e-commerce model.
I don't know if we need a sponsor at all, Lloyd, for our podcast, but I'd like to give a good shout out to Costco. Very much enjoy their meat.
You get paid for that, do you, Lloyd? Charles? Greg?
We'll see.
You've just got to pay a membership to Costco, and if you get there late, it takes you 45 minutes to get your trolley and get in there.
Yeah, they now do online as well.
Oh, do
so,
they? Okay,
yeah.
but they certainly have a phenomenal variety.
The other thing to do is just to set up chat with your in-laws, and my dad-in-law goes to Costco every Monday night and does it for us.
Okay. That's a good network you've got.
That's amazing, Charles. I'm seriously impressed.
Obviously, some people amongst the church enjoy a wine or a beer from time to time, but there's some online commentators that say that the church takes it too far. Do you think there's a strong drinking culture in the church?
I don't, but sadly, alcohol and drugs is a problem right across the world, the communities in the world, and I would say that the PBCC are no different. We have our challenges. In fact, we do a lot where we can to help people to go to rehab or get off, substance abuse. And I think the other key point is, even through the OSG schooling system, and the PBC itself spends a lot of money and time and effort to try and educate the young ones as to the danger of substance abuse, and makes them aware of habits or things that they may fall into in their youth, so that we can hopefully save them from those issues later on in life.
I'd say like society's evolved. Lloyd, like 25 years ago, maybe we did drink a little bit more, but everyone's talking about drink wisely, drink moderately. Everyone's worried about their fitness, their health. A lot of my good friends don't drink at all. We still have a great time, get on well. So as Charles says, if there are some isolated people that have a problem, we would just recommend them to go to AA or a doctor or a health clinic or St John of God. But yeah, what do you say, Dan?
Yeah, I think, as you say, we've seen in the broader world emerging trends and a change in health and wellness, and PBCC members are not dissimilar to that. People are very much embracing their health and wellness journeys and looking at alternative ways to make sure that they stay in good shape and stay fit and healthy.
Yeah, and you touched on it earlier about what drives us apart from just religious beliefs, and we spoke about achievement and trying to succeed, and that I would say would be right across the church. And obviously getting involved with alcohol and drug abuse is over against being successful, so we would recommend that our members understand what it is to have a strategy to get through the day, get through the week, and make sure that they're performing at their best.
But we've all had experience of supporting people that have come into struggles with alcohol and substance abuse, and we're always directing them to get the best medical and professional and mental health that they can possibly get.
Absolutely.
To make sure that they live the quality and fulfilling lives that they deserve.
Totally agree.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to mention that we haven't touched on?
No, it's been good, Lloyd.
No, it's
Thank
been
you.
good, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for your time, Gareth, Dean, Greg and Charles. Really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone who's listened or watching. Make sure to follow and subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode.